Whether you have just a tiny garden or you're lucky enough to have vast acres, the thing we all have in common is that we all want a special place we can come home at the end of a long day and just relax. And with me is Robert Welsch of Westover Landscape Design. It's great to see you.
Thank you.
Tell me about this amazing garden.
This is a project for clients of ours in Ossining, New York, and we were called early on to help completely reimagine a very steep slope and a very unusable garden. So we had some challenges, first to create privacy and also to create safety. From the top of the garden to the bottom of the garden is about a 90-foot drop. We did fencing, we did screening for some of the noise and sound of cars and trucks passing by, as well as giving them a more intimate, private experience. And in fact, one of the things that our client asked is an area for a future wedding.
So they needed this to be a multi-purpose outdoor space that was suitable for adults and for a small child, and block some noise and block the neighbors. How did you accomplish all of that?
Well, we started with a blank slate. We started by coming through and taking measurements for our clients. We took photographs for design studies, and we helped kind of map out the space, if you will. So what we did is we separated the garden into 4 rooms or 4 zones. Just like the inside of the house, you want an area that you're going to be dining in or having your coffee or having drinks with your family or friends. You may also want an outdoor fire pit or a fireplace. So one of the things we did was look at the existing stonework that was on the property, and it all looks like it's been here forever.
And in this final terrace, this is the area that you envisioned being a beautiful spot for a wedding someday?
Exactly. It's great for play spaces now while their daughter is 6 years old.
No balls can go out. It's an enclosed space, right?
Exactly.
Safe.
And we have layers of planting to also help shield the sound.
So Robert, now we're in another location that also has multiple levels, and clearly you had to deal with steep terrain here as well.
Absolutely. So one of the hallmarks of living in the Hudson Valley are the steep slopes and hillsides. And so it's really studying the orientation of every single property, and it's looking at airflow, and it has a sense of a lot of intimate rooms and space that goes on and on and on.
What kind of consideration do you have to pay to the environment that you actually live in?
I think the first thing is to attract the beautiful things that we want to come into our gardens. So most of the plants that most homeowners are going to find in the nursery center are going to be grown for that area. You can plant for butterflies, you can plant for hummingbirds. You know, that's one of the most relaxing things to see is early in the morning and at dusk, the hummingbirds coming through the garden. A deer fence is always good if you have deer in your area. It's just going to open up the plant palette that you can use. It's going to give you so many more options and choices in the garden. You want to think about not only how good it looks when you buy it at the nursery or garden center, but what it's going to look like in the winter, what it's going to look like 3, 5, 10 years from now.
What about lighting, and how does that come into play in your outdoor space?
You know, one of the things we want is to have safety first. Anytime that there's a step or a change of grade where you might need to have some extra light to walk through the garden, you want to make sure to have that lit. Accent lighting, spotlighting trees, uplighting trees. Less is more, though, with landscape lighting. You don't want it to look all Las Vegas and tricked out.
And Robert, talk about this design because it's a real departure from the others we've seen.
It is. So for this house, which is a 70s modern house, we wanted to give a very clean line for the house. Using natural elements like stone and boulders really marries well with modern surfaces like glass and wood and timber.
What kind of business decisions need to go into that on the part of the client?
The first thing is to have a realistic budget and decide what is comfortable for the homeowner. And oftentimes, if you can start with a plan, it acts as a roadmap for developing the property over time. Make sure that whoever you hire is licensed and that they're insured. Someone who will come in, they can give you ideas and tell you what you can do.
So if you're ready to tackle your outdoor space and your budget is tight and you want to do as much as you can yourself, what's your advice?
Have a plan and to start collecting images of things that you like. There are a lot of great online resources like Pinterest or Houzz where you can start creating idea books and collecting things for your garden.
Creating your dream outdoor space may seem very ambitious, but with a little forethought and planning, it's completely doable. And the payoff, what's better than coming outside and having your own private space to sit back and relax?